Hello, and welcome to Endor N-Gauge Model Railway. I'm Jonathan. A while ago, when I was still regularly having to disconnect point switches in order to pack the railway away, I decided to try using a 25-pin D-sub cable for the connections, so that I only had to unplug one thing and one that would be easy to unplug. There are various sockets available for them that have screw terminals for easy connection of individual cables. I found these nice compact ones on eBay. Given that I would be regularly connecting and disconnecting the D-sub cable, I decided it would be best for the cable to have male connectors at either end, so that if any pins got damaged, I'd just have to buy a new cable and wouldn't need to rewire anything at the sockets. Male-to-male cables don't seem to be as common as other types, but I found a reasonably priced one on eBay. Before I could get any wiring done, I needed to work out which terminals connected to which pin sockets, so I used an LED and battery to check that. There weren't any screw holes in the socket, but the circuit board and terminals unclipped from the plastic case, so I decided I'd be able to drill some holes through that. Happy that I had a plan, I disassembled the existing connections, moved some wires out of the way, and decided exactly where to have the socket. I drilled some holes in it and screwed it to the door, but annoyingly the board wouldn't clip back into position. Almost all of it stands a few millimeters away from the plastic case, but not where I'd happened to put the screws. After some careful analysis, I relocated the screws to a position that had space for them. I then connected one of the point motors and tested that it worked through this socket. As you can see here, it did. So I connected a few more. I then tested them with the D-sub cable connected. That didn't go quite as well. It only worked some of the time. I wondered if perhaps my temporary screws connection to the pins wasn't good enough, so connected the D-sub cable to the other socket and then tested again. Things didn't get much better. I found that the Rails Connect point motor worked, but the GaugeMaster ones didn't look like they were getting enough power, because they only moved a little bit. I've tried to find information about what current these cables, pins and sockets are okay with, but haven't been able to find anything conclusive. It's certainly possible to have a setup that can handle much higher voltage and current than anything on this railway, but the things I've seen these kinds of connections used for in the past are digital signals, such as computer printers and monitors, which I wouldn't have thought would need to be a high current. So I abandoned this setup and went back to what I had before. I was pleased that I'd tested as I'd gone along before disconnecting absolutely everything. Things have since moved on further, with the railway now in place permanently, meaning I no longer need to disconnect the point switches. That's an even better outcome than if the D-sub cable had worked. That's all for now. Bye bye.